Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you like this video. With that, let's get into it. To say you were dying would be an understatement. The cruel rays of the sun beating down on the earth made it an absolute hell underneath the heavy body costume you were forced to don on. All thanks to a particular coworker who bailed on their shift today with an abhorrent excuse of, "You caught car trouble." It was bullshit, but you weren't the one calling the shots. Not when your boss said you weren't to fill in for them despite your protests. Now, clad from head to toe in fluffy pink fur and hefty layers of fabric and film, you suffocated from within a cocoon that gathered heat and sweat around your body. You were so letting your coworker have a piece of your mind the next time they showed up. Miss Bunny, let us take a picture with you," a circle of kids hollered, their grabby hands tugging your fur to seize your attention, and even jumped to pull on your ears. The only thing you have to thank this costume for is the fact it at least concealed the dreary expression in your face, masked by the mascot's smiley plastic facade. You simulated a chipper voice not to break the gauze. "Alright, Miss Bunny's coming," you managed as the kids pulled you in the front of an assembly of parents that captured their cute little children posing with a mascot who most certainly desired to be anywhere else. Just as their phones clicked and shuddered, a loud boom suddenly thundered behind you, grabbing everyone's attention in the area. The parents looked up with gaped mouths, and the smoke diffused in the sky, and the whirring of rides that tottered of pounds in the distance. "Look, up there!" The kids pointed to the lone figure who stood at the highest peak of the Ferris wheel, the man shouting out curses and threats for all those beneath him to tremble and run in terror. You, however, simply grounded yourself, impassive underneath your costume, and nearly numb with all the events transpiring around you. "You've got to be shitting me," you thought, eyes cast into a deadpan. Just when you thought your day couldn't get any worse. Ground Zero! Bakugou winced at the deafening static blared into his right ear, where the intercom vibrated a frequency of hasty calls from his sidekick. He pressed a button on the device with his right hand to relay the call, his left currently occupied, gripping the collar of a thug who just knocked into submission after giving them chase through the allies. "Calm down, dumbass. I heard you the first time," he scolded. The clamor of sirens heard in the background of the other line. "What is it?" "A villain's running amok at the local fair." "The hell?" Bakugou's eyes flared alert as the tone in his voice rose to a volume much more piercing than his sidekick's. Unknowingly, the hold he had on the unconscious grin in front of him tightened, while his mind conjured the next plan of action. With such densely packed area of civilians, the villain will undoubtedly cause rampage and havoc, if not dealt with immediately. And right now, he was still halfway across the city from where they held the local fair. Not wasting another second of his time, he tossed the criminal off to the side and tied him up for the police to apprehend later. "Evacuate as many people as possible before I get there. Make sure the damn villain doesn't damage any structures holding up the bigger rides," he instructed his sidekick. "Yes sir, Ground Zero sir." With that, he pushed the mic off on his comm link before propelling himself into the air, thanks to the kinetic explosions emitted from his palms, blasting past buildings and keen on seeing the villain's imminent doom at his hand. It's through his breakneck speeds across the city that he arrived there in no time at all. He assessed the current damage in the area and leered at the grey smoke scattered in the air, eyeing the attraction that fell off their foundations. He eventually spotted a crowd of kids gathered around the big blur of pink that held its arms outward to shield them. Even while a menacing figure slowly inched closer, "There you are!" Bakugou fired forward, eager to drag down from the skies, and let the sole of his boot greet the villain square in the face. On impact, the thug clobbered onto the ground, but was yet to be knocked out. Gathering himself to stand and face the pro hero, "It's Ground Zero!" The kids that surrounded you shrilled in joy at the explosion hero's appearance into the fray, pulling on your costume to express their excitement. "Look, Miss Bunny, Ground Zero's here to save us!" You peered through the small, meshed slits of your costume at the man before you, who had his grenade arms ready. He enacted confidence in his stance, challenging the dangerous villain without a single ounce of hesitation. "Hey, Bunnyface!" he yelled, eyes never leaving his opponent. "Bunnyface?" Your brows knitted together. "Yes?" he replied, voice coming out hoarse through the dense layer of foam. "Get those kids out of here. I'll handle the villain," he commanded, and you did not disobey. You hastened the children by your side to make a break with you to the gates, and safely meet their parents again, leaving the explosion hero to defeat the rat. And defeat he did. The villain stood no chance against him, as his attacks were all eluded by the pro hero's high evasion and trained skills that had the goon edging the end of his rope. "Screw this, I'm out of here," he shouted, turning towards the opposite direction to attempt the getaway. However, Bakugou was already one step ahead of him, propelled and positioned in front of the enemy once more. "If you're going to escape, you shouldn't yell your plans out loud, you damn idiot," was all the explosion hero gave, his hands suffused with nitroglycerin that quickly emitted a radiating heat. "Now die!" At his triumphant roar, his palms ignited a tremendous explosion forward, making clean contact on the villain, who stood aimlessly at the flash of light that enveloped his body in a fever of nuclear energy. By the time the smoke cleared, Bakugou was crossed with an unconscious smoking body. He dragged the villain towards the gate, where the police and his sidekicks gathered, along with the other fairgoers. They applauded him for his victory, saving the day once again. As the hero scanned through the crowd, he caught sight of you in the throng, thanks to your bulky, bright costume that stuck out like a sore thumb. When your gazes met, you finally hauled the large bunny head off, revealing yourself to his red eyes that widened slightly upon grasping your true appearance. He couldn't help but stare fixed on you while you approached him, noting how your pretty eyes glistened, complemented by the gleamy rosiness adorning your cheeks, and the delicate flow of your hair that danced lightly at every step you took. "Damn it, she's cute." His thoughts blurted out without him realizing you were now right in front of him. "Ground Zero, right? Thanks for helping us back there. We didn't know what we'd do without you," you thanked, your words acting as a catalyst that finally brought his mind back to the cusp of reality. He shook his head in an attempt to ward off the flush of red reaching his cheeks, due to your gratitude and the small proximity between your faces. Your voice, once veiled by that abominable voice box in your suit that did no justice to how sweet your tone was, did not help him maintain his indifferent facade. He opted to turn his head to the side for now. "No problem." He cursed at the way his voice stuttered out the reply. "No, really, thank you. I didn't know how long I could protect these kids, but you managed to come in at the right time, before things got bad." You expressed your gratefulness while inching closer, much to his dismay. "Look, it's nothing, alright? It's what I do." he brazenly stated, projecting as much poise as he could muster, despite finding the day's gloss in your eyes and the way you gingerly pushed a strand of hair behind your ear. Cute. Just even the peak of your soft-looking lips in his peripheral vision was enough for his demeanor to betray him. Calm the heck down, Ground Zero. He roused himself. What's wrong? Do I look okay? He called out a series of glances, subconscious about how he appeared, after staying hidden behind the beneath sweltering hot and simple for the majority of the afternoon. In your head, you thought you must have been a complete mess in front of him, with your hair streamed all around and face a bright crimson hue. However, Bakugou saw differently, and through his eyes, he tried to fathom how one could still look so pretty, in spite of that costume you wore. You look damn fine, he assured, though his words were an understatement in comparison to the rampant thoughts imbued in his head. A smile landed on your lips. Oh, here, have this. He reached your pink band of a hand into the front pocket of your costume's overalls. Some free admittance tickets for the fair. Maybe you can use them when it opens up again. You offered the stack to him, at which he was going to reject, and coolly state he didn't have time for shit like that. But he pulled his brakes upon realizing something. You work here, right? He asked, though it should be pretty obvious, considering the hefty costume no regular person would wear on a hot day like this, or on any day for that matter. The bunny honestly was, without a doubt in his mind, quite hideous. However, an endearing girl like you got dropped into this job was a mystery to him. But eventually, he received an explanation. Yes, though I'm usually not the one wearing the mascot costume. My coworker bailed today, so I was forced to take their place. You answered, mentally pained when remembering what you had endured throughout this hellish day. Your coworker must be an ass. Oh, tell me about it, you agreed, with an exasperated smile leaving your lips. Anyway, I usually work at the game stall next to the Ferris wheel. He pointed to said attraction that was somehow still standing in one piece, despite all the chaos that had transpired today. You're welcome to visit me if you want, Ground Zero, he said, and at that, Bakugou gladly took the tickets from your hands and accepted your proposal, knowing it meant he could see your pretty face again. Fine, but when you see me, it's Katsuki. Bakugou Katsuki, he informed, babbling about how you couldn't call him by his zero names, a risk bringing him unnecessary attention he most certainly didn't need to deal with during his free time, though in actuality, he just wanted you to be familiar with him and utter his name in that surly voice of yours that sounded like melodies to his ears. You giggled, the laughter coming from your lips was the prettiest song to his ears, and an expression in your face babbling a meadow of flowers with a colorful bloom in your eyes. Alright, Bakugou Katsuki, and then you finally thought that maybe today wasn't so bad after all. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I hope you enjoyed listening to this as much as I did making it. Anyway, goodbye.